Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. This is your host, MagMongoSlade. Talk about CM Punk and everything that's happened since Collision the last time, because we all knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. We didn't build any atomic weapons. Ain't no Albert Einsteins, no super geniuses over here. I don't work for NASA. You know, I ain't mastering no calculus. I just noticed CM Punk pattern of behavior. And his comments about Hangman Page wasn't the end of everything, because now the dirt sheets are doing what they do, which is digging the hole and taking the soul of CM Punk once again. So let's start from the beginning. CM Punk makes a comment about Hangman Page after Collision. CM Punk said this: Carolina is Hangman country. Earlier today, I went to a local supermarket and I found out why they call him Hangman. It's because the pegs in the toy aisle are full of Hangman action figures because nobody wants them. He's a peg warmer, unlike me, who moves merchandise, pops ratings, sells toys. You got everybody in AEW saying I'm the heart, I'm the soul, I'm the spirit. Well, that's subjective. What's a fact is that the people who say that they aren't the chin of AEW because the lights go out faster than what? GTS, go to sleep. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I got rocked, too. I told the House of Black no chops, and they chopped me, so I'm very mad. Now, once that happened, everybody cringed and braced for impact because we already knew what was about to happen. So then it comes out that Hangman Page, this is from Meltzer, says that Hangman Page was brought to Collision to do a pre-tape promo, but was sent away. From Collision, he was sent away. He was told he was not wanted near Collision. From that point on, we start seeing other people who are persona non grata from Collision. One House of Wrestling says that both Christopher Daniels, the head of talent relations, was at one point sent away from Collision. Matt Hardy and Ryan Nemeth, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler's little brother. So let's read this article because a lot of people might not know this. He says, Wrestling Observer reports that Adam Page was originally sent to Greensboro to record a pre-taped interview for this Wednesday's edition of Dynamite. When he got there, however, he was told he'd have to do the pre-tape away from the arena and not attend the show whatsoever. It was also noted that Page is not the only talent that encountered an issue like this. Fightful reports that Ryan Nemeth was set to appear on Collision this past week, but was sent home after being told he wasn't needed. Earlier today, on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer confirmed that the report stated that this was not the first time this had happened to Nemeth or others on the AEW roster. Matt Hardy was apparently booked as well and was told not to go to the building after getting into town for the taping. The same goes for Christopher Daniels, who was working ROH tapings and is the promotion's head of talent relations. So unless CM Punk has some kind of corporate position, which we don't know about, his boss was ejected from the building, according to the dirt sheets. All right? The head of talent relations is over CM Punk. It would have to be. All right? So how did CM Punk manage to get him ejected from the building? Now, most people who are kind of doubting this story rightly understand that Christopher Daniels has been in the business for so long, he's respected by both sides, the elite side and the CM Punk side. And that CM Punk truly likes Christopher Daniels. Why would he do this to Christopher Daniels? So, House of Wrestling, or House of Wrestling, however you want to do it, says this, quote, House of Wrestling has confirmed that at least 2 of these men not being backstage at Collision stem from issues with CM Punk, notably Christopher Daniels' involvement in the post-all-out altercation was specifically portrayed to us as the reason the Fallen Angel is not at Collision. Since Ace Steel, Punk's good friend, was also involved in the altercation but was not allowed to return backstage for Collision, Punk is said to feel the same about Daniels and does not want him backstage either. Wow! Amazing how that works. The head of talent relations cannot come to the show. That's crazy. What kind of authority do you have where you can tell your boss he can't come to the show? What? Could you imagine some guy telling JR he can't come backstage at Raw? Like, could you imagine that? Could you imagine some guy telling Triple H, I don't want you at SmackDown. Get out of here. Beat it. Like, what? What? Who is this guy? What? Okay, at this point, bro, I gotta ask, what is CM Punk's proper title in AEW? Because he can't just be a wrestler. If he has any authority to stop somebody else from coming to the show, he's got to have some kind of official authority. All right. Otherwise, Tony Khan would just be like, I could take your suggestion into account, but, you know, I need this guy, or this is what I'm trying to do. And he should do it. Why would Tony Khan be listening to CM Punk? Why would anybody be listening to this guy? Now, Ryan Namath, who is the small fish, the goldfish in this situation, he's the guy nobody cares about. He's Mr. Irrelevant. CM Punk could kick him around like a soccer ball and nobody would give a damn. But this is what they said about him. As for Namath, we have also confirmed his comments on Twitter where he called Punk, quote, the softest man alive from his now deactivated account did him no favors, and is the reason he was asked to leave Collision. Punk is said to not be looking for any drama backstage at Collision and felt Namath's previous comments show his willingness to unnecessarily stir the pot in the locker room. We have not heard anything in regard to Punk asking to have Page or Hardy not be present at Greensboro. However, we were told that Punk's post-Collision promo comments about Page did not come across how he would have liked them, and that he felt bad about them afterward. At this time, the Elite and Punk have not met to bury the hatchet, but it sounds like Punk is keeping the door open to that possibility. All right, so it starts to coming out that wrestlers are being booked to appear on Collision, and then people are changing their minds. Now, this is from Wrestling Inc. Quote, according to the outlet, what outlet? I guess it's the PW Torch. Punk confronted Namath over the tweet when he attended the June 21st episode of AEW Dynamite. Punk reportedly got right up in Namath's face and asked if he had a problem with him, noting that his tweet inflamed the tensions between Punk and the Elite. Punk reportedly asked if they had to take it outside, but the exchange didn't turn physical. It's also worth mentioning that Namath's tweet was in response to the soft line Punk promo on the debut episode of Collision, which has been interpreted as a subliminal diss towards the Elite. Namath reportedly moved the argument to the hallway and explained his stance, stating that Punk was the one who fired the shots at the Elite. Punk retorted by explaining that the timing of the tweet was bad and subsequently told Namath not to react to these issues on social media. The pair reportedly shook hands afterwards, but the tension was still in the air. Have mercy. Ryan Namath. Who is this guy? If Christopher Daniels is being asked, please do not come to my show, then what did this guy think was going to happen? They should throw him out like Uncle Phil every time he comes anywhere near an arena. They should just walk him directly to out the nearest exit and toss his ass outside. So Cultaholic decided they were going to get a direct quote from Dave Meltzer as to CM Punk's ability to get other people kicked off the show. It says, quote, they are doing everything they can to keep him happy, because when you are a draw in this business and they feel that he is indispensable or close to indispensable because they allow him to do this, and then they are trying to launch this show on Saturday, and the feeling is obviously that having him is more important than having a situation where the head of talent relations can go to a show. They feel that is more important to keep CM Punk happy because of the attempt to launch on Saturday. That's not unusual in this business. It's kind of unusual for the head of talent relations to be told he can't come to a show. That's something I've never heard of. I have never heard Jim Ross say anywhere that, you know, Shawn Michaels banned him from being backstage because Shawn was getting on Shawn's nerves or something like that. Stone Cold Steve Austin wanted nothing to do with Jim Ross and, get out of my sight. The Rock kept Jim Ross out of the locker room or something crazy like that. I've never heard of that before. Never in my life have I ever heard of somebody who is technically your boss being booted from the locker room to keep you happy. That's crazy. I guess, you know, I guess it happens in the NBA. You know, LeBron James is unhappy, you fire the coach. You know, it happens in the NFL, I guess, sometimes, but it happens a lot in the NBA. So maybe that's what we're talking about here. Maybe it's not just CM Punk has an official position. Maybe he's just LeBron James. The following is from the PW Torch. Wrestlers are in an awkward position when it comes to speaking out against CM Punk in any way, since Tony Khan has made it clear he's not only a big part of AEW's business strategy to sell tickets, sell pay-per-views, and draw ratings, with Collision being launched in great part to be a vehicle for Punk, but also that Khan himself is personally a big fan of Punk. So people are walking around on eggshells because the boss is a mark. That's what we got here. The boss is a mark. So we got to walk around on eggshells. Can you believe that? Here's the part that really blew my mind when it comes to Tony Khan being a mark. This is from PW Torch too. It says, when Punk first returned earlier this summer after his hiatus, dating back to the prior year's All Out Media Q&A, Khan stood up backstage in the gorilla position with his headset on and started pumping his fist and chanting CM Punk enthusiastically as Punk walked by. The feeling backstage among wrestlers not in a position of power with a big contract is to lay low when it comes to Punk, because you don't want to be on what is essentially his enemies list. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Look, I got no dog in the fight. So let's say that the Dirt Sheets is making all this up. It makes CM Punk sound like he's the Cobra Commander. Like he's just one of the biggest tyrants in the history of the business. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like if you sneeze around Punk now, he kicking you out. You know? Like you can't hold in a burp, get out. You know what he used to say about Vince? They're now applying it to CM Punk. He starts seeing guys with gray hair and like, not on my show. Get out of here. You know, oh, I heard you was wearing a Bullet Club shirt back in 11th grade. Get out of here. Oh, you worked the New Japan show? You went to Ribera with Matt Jackson? Get out of here. He's just throwing guys out now. You know? He gonna make Ryan Namath and all those guys walk to get him some cheesecake. It's good. Oh my God, bro. He's the big old meanie. But so apparently, you know, Ryan Namath is going to have to ride with Jungle Boy to go get this cheesecake, unless he's going to force him to walk. So this came out just a few minutes ago, actually. This is from Ringside News. They're quoting Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful's account, so I don't trust Ringside News, but I'm not about to pay Fightful for it. That CM Punk and Jungle Boy had an argument backstage at, I think it was, I don't know if it was a Dynamite or a Collision. I don't think Jack Perry has been on Collision yet, so it's probably a Dynamite. So it says, towards the start of Punk's AEW Collision run during the Canada tapings, Jungle Boy was brought to Collision to film a segment, and the two had words about the plans that Perry was supposedly pushing. According to those on the side of Punk, Perry wanted to use real glass for a backstage segment. Punk was of the belief that if he did this, he did need to come to work the next week, which he sees as a big problem in the company. Per Punk's side of things, Perry was going against production, doctors, and Tony Schiavone, advising him not to do it and telling him that smashing real glass was a safety hazard. And Perry wasn't happy with that. Shortly after, there were guidelines put in place and forwarded to talent of things that required clearance. Punk's claim was that he was asked to step in and calmly said that they don't do that on Saturdays for Collision. And if he doesn't like it, he could stay on Wednesdays. Word of the situation had made its way around the locker room and was referred to as an argument. Punk's claim was that Perry was throwing a temper tantrum over the spots not being cleared and people were trying to prevent it. We reached out to Jack Perry but did not hear back. We weren't told how the situation ended, but several that we heard from agreed that the Punk stance at least claimed. So Jack Perry was supposed to do something with some glass. I don't remember Jack Perry doing anything with glass, now that I think of it. So maybe Punk won that argument. But that is, apparently this argument that he had with Jungle Boy is what led to this list of things that you can't do. And that we talked about on the live stream, this banned list, or, you know, you need to pre-approve all of these things. And CM Punk is laying down the law in AEW. He's the real boss because Tony Khan, no comment. So Tony Khan went on some kind of podcast and was asked if he would like to make a comment about the CM Punk Hangman Page debacle. To which Tony Khan said, quote, from Wrestling Inc., "No, not really. I think it was a great show Saturday night, and I don't have any further comment to that. But I'm glad people are still very interested in our wrestlers and what's happening after the wrestling shows." Oh, that's just great. You're hearing that one of your top talent is standing in the middle of the ring, denigrating another one of your top talent. This is almost a year after he started denigrating them and went on a rampage. And your comment is no comment. All right, how many times can you say that Tony Khan is soft? That he's passive, that he's not a good leader, that he's not showing good leadership skills? We could talk about that all day. And we have talked about that. But now you have to put yourself in the talent shoes. Your Hangman Page, your Ryan Namath, your Christopher Daniels, or your whoever is sitting on the other side of this argument. And Tony Khan is a super mark for CM Punk. The dirt sheets know it. The audience knows it. Everybody knows it. Even, you know, the dirt sheets are saying, hey, wrestlers are having a hard time criticizing this guy. They're walking on eggshells. They're not sure what to do. And, you know, whatever. Imagine being that guy. Especially since Hangman Page recently re-signed the contract. And now he's going to have to deal with this. You know? Now he's going to, at CM Punk's whim, he's going to walk around and piss on his shoes. Just when he feels like it. I feel like it today. I don't like Hangman Page. I remembered that. So I'm going to go out here and cut a promo on the guy. And that's it. And you're supposed to be like, what? And that's just cool? Boss ain't going to do nothing? No fine, no suspension, no public comment, just nothing. Just, okay. Okay. I couldn't imagine being those guys. I couldn't imagine being Christopher Daniels and being told I can't be backstage after the show. Oh, please, I'd have put in my notice. I'd have quit. I would have absolutely quit. You know, if that guy has that much stroke, I'd have quit. I'd have walked away. He might as well be head of talent relations at that point. Oh, we're trying to keep down confusion. Like, what do you mean? I'm here in an official capacity. My job is to keep down confusion. You know? If you don't have any faith in my ability to do it, why am I here? So that whole thing is absurd. Absolutely absurd. But now the fire is starting to dim. Sun's getting real low. And they decided to put out statements that, oh, CM Punk apologized, y'all. It's okay. CM Punk sent an apology. Huh. Okie dokie. It says, quote, House of Wrestling, this is from House of Wrestling, has confirmed that CM Punk later sent Page a text message apologizing for his comments after AEW Collision. This was corroborated on today's edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, which noted that both sides of the incident stated that Punk apologized to Page. It was also reported that the promo was meant to be an attempt at comedy that backfired, and Punk realized it didn't go as planned as soon as he said it. So he popped shit and apologized. Apparently he also has some kind of language in his contract that he cannot make disparaging remarks about Kenny Omega or the Young Bucks. But Hangman Page is a part, despite the fact that he's part of this union they've created where they all collectively bargain and all this kind of stuff and they vote about whether they was going to stay or go. He wasn't part of that. So he's the guy in the group that can be verbally abused by CM Punk. Oh, but he got an apology text. You know, didn't CM Punk say that the apology should be as public as the offense or something like that? I had to look this up because I wanted to get the language correct. It is, quote, a little bit of advice I suggest you take. The apology must be as loud and as public as the disrespect. So CM Punk privately apologized. He sent a text message to Hangman Page, but he disparaged him publicly. So his apology should be public, correct? So I'm guessing after Collision on Saturday, he's going to get the microphone and he's going to apologize to Hangman Page. That's what I expect. I expect Philip to apologize in public to Hangman Page on Collision if he truly believed what he said. That the apology must be as loud and as public as the disrespect. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Why don't I think so? Because that Nick Hausman fellow says that he also got a private apology. He tweeted out, quote, from August 15th, a reminder that the day after AEW All Out, CM Punk sent me an apology text too. I'm really not sure how he got my number, but I appreciated it and we were good. Sometimes you say things you regret. Apologizing and showing an understanding of what you did wrong is all I ask. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate you for being the bigger man, but over here we are very petty and we want public apologies. You should demand a public apology because you were disparaged in public. This is what CM Punk says. This is his own. He said that. He said that the apology should be as public and as loud as the disrespect. So he should not be able to say pop shit in public and then backtrack in private. No. He should have to humble himself, stand in front of the people, and apologize for the shit that he just said about Hangman Page. Or we can all pretend that this is not a big deal and we should all move on. Break it up, kids. There's nothing to see here. For starters, look, I'm big on apologizing if you truly did something wrong and you didn't mean it to go that way. I can fully understand that maybe CM Punk thought it was a joke, but if you have to have a relationship with guys in order to joke with them. Apparently, he does not have this relationship with Hangman Page. They are not best buds that they can rib each other on the square like this, you know. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All I know is he should have to apologize in public. According to his old credo, he should apologize in public. I don't think he will, though. I don't think he will. You know, that's very unfortunate. I think he's going to send text messages and the Young Bucks are probably going to sit there and giggle about it. You know, but you got to control your locker room, man. Look, the split locker rooms is probably the right idea. I have kind of defended that concept since it's an easy way to keep down confusion, but now it's starting to branch out, not just from the core members, but from the ancillary characters too, where now it's starting to affect the careers of like Ryan Namath and Christopher Daniels and all these guys. And it's unfair. And look, they haven't confirmed it yet. They haven't confirmed that CM Punk was the reason Matt Hardy's not on. And I'm pretty sure Matt Hardy will talk about it on his show eventually. And I'm sure Christopher Daniels will talk about it eventually. And it will come out if it's true or not. But we're going to have to keep our eye on this, of course. What do you guys think so far? CM Punk pop shit and apologize. He went to the notes page. Do you think he, matter of fact, let's talk about that for a second. Do you think he just sent a text message that says, my bad, my boy? You know, my bad, Habibi. I'm sorry. You know, did he say I'm sorry? Did he say I apologize? Did he say I mean no disrespect? Did he, did he say excuse me? What do you think he said in that text message? Do you think he went to the notes page and laid out his heart about how maybe, what he said was wrong? What do you think was in this text message? Because it should have been public. That's just all I'm going to say. All right, like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later, man. Peace.